Hello, and welcome to a conversation about scholastic esports this afternoon or this morning. I guess we don't know what time you're watching this, but my name is Claire LaBeaux. I am the Chief Advancement Officer for NACEF. We are the network of academic and scholastic esports federations. We help organizations all around the world build programs that enable them to leverage a blend of play and learning to benefit the students. And we will get more into that in just a moment after my compadre here introduces himself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin Brown. I'm the Chief Academic Officer with NACEF. I have been here, like Claire, since the very beginning, our inception back in late 2017, early 2018, going on 6 years now. My primary functions are to build curricula, teach teachers to use curricula, help with club setups, help with affiliate setups in regions, and help with international setups with our international partners, much like yourselves. So if you haven't seen me yet, you'll probably see me soon. Look forward to talking with you a little bit today about what we got going on. Back to you, Claire.
Thank you. So one of the things I want to talk about right away is esports, and why is scholastic esports more than just playing games? Because most people, when they think of this, they think, oh, there are all these kids playing games and then that's it. But in reality, it's quite interdisciplinary. Can you talk about that?
Sure. I was a victim of the same thoughts when I first started. I was approached, hey, can you write some things for NACEF? Can we make this something amazing? Pardon me. And I also did not believe in this. I'm an educator by trade, and I did not see the value in this, in what I call thumb monkeys, this idea about playing. So I too thought that esports was just this person, him or her, playing games in the middle. But what became very apparent very quickly when I was shown the early diagram here is all of this work that has to go in so this kid in the middle can enjoy what they love. And all of this work on the outside, you and I both know it's come to pass that these are essential kinds of work in the industry that is esports, which also are other careers in other tangential fields, as well as college majors. Every single one of these 15, I'll submit 16. We know there's the secret hidden fifth domain beyond the four in gray of health and wellness, both mental and physical health and wellness. These are all career pathways and college pathways. So I, like you, was in from early 2018, and we've been pulling ever since to create these kinds of programs and club setups that really matter for people.
Right. Yeah. And I think the interest here is in career pathways that youth can pursue. And you just pointed to that fabulous diagram there, the esports ecosystem, which really just has a snippet of what's available. Each of those areas, IT support, general manager, analyst, there are many different opportunities underneath each one of those as well.
Absolutely.
How do you think youth would prepare well for a career in something like this?
So it all goes back to sort of our mantra, which is you got to start a club. Start a club. When you have a club, our clubs, NACEF clubs, different than many other kind of groups setting up a club, which is primarily focused on play. We focus on all of this. Play is incidental. Some of our clubs do not even have competitive teams. They play casually among themselves for fun, but they're really interested in all of this career and skill development that happens as a result of esports. So in particular, I'll give you one good example. So I'm pointing over here to event organization, lives in the organizer domain. And while we think in esports, this means, okay, you have to be a tournament organizer. You know how to develop a tournament, create a bracket, create a structure, pricing, all the promo to bring somebody in. But I'll tell you, some of the best tournament organizers with the high school and college where I teach, they actually go into hotel hospitality. They become event managers on a larger scale in a different industry entirely. They don't stay in esports, but what they've learned to put something together, corral and direct a bunch of people to a successful ending, is being a catering manager, doing event planning for large corporations, doing like a product launch. God's help us all, doing weddings, having bridezilla, being able to make that bride have her special day. That's a special skill set that you can actually learn in esports.
One of the things I love about the club structure you just described is that it gives students an opportunity to try something out. Right. It is as valuable to know what you don't want to do as to know what you think you want to do. And I had a college internship, and at the end I said, that was a great 3 months and I will never work in that industry. And that was valuable, right? And I think it's great to have these club settings where you can say, okay, I think I'm pretty good with people. I'm going to try to get some sponsors for this event. Then maybe you discover that's not your thing. Maybe you want to be more one of the people in the background setting up the technology. But the ability in a kind of a low stakes environment to try something and succeed, fail, whatever it is, move forward from there is really valuable as well.
100% agree.
Yeah, so we're talking about career skills and career development, but there are a lot of other skills that are developed in an esports environment. Talk about some of those.
Sure. What are now called, at least in the US, large parts of the world's 21st century skills or soft skills that businesses require. It's funny, it's not a thing you see on a website posting for a company. They'll tell you you need to be able to manage spreadsheets, or you have to have had a portfolio of 50 clients and moved $500 million of product a year, quantifiable skills. But then the one that is often a misnomer that is also asked for frequently is, tell me about how you communicate with others. How are you on a team? Tell me how you get together and work with people that are different from you, that come from different backgrounds. How can you all stay focused on one goal, but you can't work on a Friday and you can't work on a Saturday? How am I going to get that to work? Business has to move forward. So having communication skills, having this idea about how to problem solve, different ways to look at things. In my classroom, and as I go around the world setting up clubs, there is an Asian mindset. There is a European mindset. South Africa's got its own mindset and timeline. So you learn that cultures, peoples have ways they look at something and ways they want to approach it. And when you've got 3 or 4 different players from 3 or 4 different places, that's a mixture for something bad to happen if you don't start talking. Or you lean into each other's strengths and you figure out how best to approach something. So problem solving, communication skills, definitely world outreach technology skills, knowing how to do this, but knowing how to process with this, how to use your mind to sort through data and to give good conclusions back, to be able to be a risk taker, but somebody who's informed by good data. Those are things you don't see on a job list or requirement, but you can demonstrate it through a routine like this, working through an esports club.
Something that I think is a little bit more ethereal outside of skill sets, but very important that's gained in these clubs is finding your people. Finding someone that you are similar to, you have similar interests. And what's fun about that is you often find that I have similar interests to someone else who is a very different type of person than I am. And so learning to open your mind and embrace all and learn from everyone who's in the room and enjoy everyone in the room. For whatever your unique strengths are, I can learn to appreciate those in an esports club. And I think esports just attracts a different variety of people. So everybody loves gaming. So everybody shows up. It's really a great environment for development.
That's it. I think the more we hear, right, so you're not a real gamer because you didn't play Call of Duty, or you didn't play the right kind of role-playing game, or why are you playing a role-play? Why are you playing card games like Pokemon Go? That's for babies. Really now I love this digital thing. I love it for the arts. I love it for the music. Sound beds are a big deal. Kids are going to school to learn to make soundtracks. So you're right. They find a tribe and suddenly it's the great leveler of all playing fields. Doesn't matter who you are. It's all minds, all kinds. What unifies us is this love of the game, however it expresses itself.
So are there any misconceptions about esports in schools?
There is still a generation or two that learned from a thing called a book, and knowledge was taken from a book and memorized and given back in a test. And now those people, myself included, I'm of that age, but not of that type. These are the people making decisions for youth today who are digital natives, who have lived through a pandemic where for years they were separated physically and had to do everything digitally. And kids got good about doing that. And teachers got pretty good about communicating that way. So the people of the book are trying to tell the people who scroll that the book is the way. That divide makes it very tough because those are usually administrators who make administrative decisions to allow or disallow. And that makes for some friction. So a lot of what we do, as you know very well, in NASEF is to educate. We go out, we do face-to-face, we do lots of Zoom calls, we hold international calls with entire continents to get people spun up on what it is that we do, how we do it, and why we do it. The fact that there is this sort of a pathway forward, that this is an inroad to a kind of kid who maybe never thought about going on to college or pursuing a career beyond something simple. Great. If you want to be a YouTube content creator, do it, but do it well. Get all the things that differentiate you and make you really good, make you a consumable property, a brand that people want to see. We can help you do that. So when parents become aware that this is not just a stigma, it's not just thumb monkeys playing at night until their eyes bleed, but it's really something that can help youth, enable them, engage them, move them forward, we get lots of friends. We get lots of people asking questions about, so tell me, how do I start? That's a happy phone call when I get that.
Absolutely. And just one last point on this before we wrap up this video.
Please.
Is around collaboration. And you just made a perfect example of somebody who wants to develop some YouTube content. And there are a lot of opportunities for industry to partner with esports. Can you describe a little bit, maybe give another example of how that might happen?
So without a doubt, every game has its community. So if you play a fight game like Tekken or Street Fighter, there's a community that loves the fight game. There's an RTS, a real-time strategy, like around League of Legends or Dota. Every game type has a community around it. Every community has an online presence. And there are content creators who lapse because others who are better at a game or have a unique angle on how to, or a unique personality, they become the ones who people gravitate to. And so wise companies say, oh, I see Claire's getting a lot of traction. Everybody, who is Claire? She's got 1.7 million followers and it's Tuesday. How does she do that? It's a great place for businesses to recruit the next new face of their business who understands the market, who understands the kind of people who consume those games, who understands what that community finds important about esports, about the game, and about what they like about it. So it's a great auditioning space. We like to say that the clubs are a laboratory where you can practice the craft, but it puts you out into the larger world community where you can actually do something, realize something out of it.
Right. And I think through things like creating that content or developing materials to promote a tournament or something, it gives youth a portfolio, examples of work they can do. And that's so important to have those tangible examples. And esports is a great place to get that. So thanks, Kevin, for all the information and the knowledge. NASEF is proud to partner with different organizations, with educational institutions around the world as they work to leverage the interest in scholastic esports and in esports in general and gaming in order to educate youth.